Good evening, everyone. Came to bring a little bit of evening cheer. I'm leaving what I fondly known as my appointed plantation known as Candyland. But I had a question, man. I actually saw this term. I'm starting to see this term being used online, and I was kind of confused in regards to what exactly it is. From the clues and the hints and the things I've been reading, the context clues I picked up from it. What is a passport, bro? From what I see, from what the description or what the people that talk about the people who claim that they are passport bros. From what I get from them is a passport brother is of course obviously they have a passport to travel. I guess and I'm speaking specifically on black people because if it's really not about black people, I really don't give a fuck. And especially if it's about black men, because as a black male, black man, I would like to think that there's a certain standard or qualification in which a black man or certain practices or like I say often, a constitution that a black man follows. But from what I understand of a passport brother is an individual who has a passport, who I guess they may be underwhelmed or just totally dissatisfied with the choices of women in which they have in their, which is, from my perspective, in my best interest, is America. So therefore they use their passports to go to exotic lands to visit. I guess either Asian, also the Asians persuasion or the Hispanic persuasion or the Portuguese. Those ladies that live in Rio de Janeiro down in South America. So it's like, okay, so I don't know. I guess the passport must be stamped pretty frequently because hell, I don't really hear them speaking too much about how, solid or frequent or infrequent. I mean, I'm more than likely to hear that it's infrequent that they find a woman that's domestic, a woman that is within the country. And once again, I'm focusing on America. I finding a woman in America which fits the bill and fits their standards. So therefore, they purchase tickets and they travel to foreign lands and go about seeking a suitable companion or someone who might be good enough for them, I guess good enough or fits the standards in which those American ladies apparently seem to lack. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm speaking to the guys. I don't know if any ladies are gonna come on here later or not. I don't know about you guys, but I come from an era in which I guess it's nice to be able to when you're courting a suitor or trying to get with a girl. A woman trying to get with a woman, that you come with trinkets and gifts and things to catch their eyes, shiny things attract women, and so I shouldn't say they say there's a saying that goes, if you want to attract the monkey, things, but I'm not comparing women to monkey, but it's punk monkeys. But if you want to attract a woman, generally it has something to do with, I guess, if not just your physical appearance, your physical fitness. If in lieu of those things, often considering what you're wearing, what kind of jewelry you have on, what kind of car you're driving, or how much money that you make. I guess. Because in my mind, I'm gonna go ahead and to be honest with it. When I'm listening to someone say that they're passport bro and they're booking ticket, they've secured their passport just for the sole purpose to be able to pay for trips to go overseas, or maybe not over. Well, yeah, I guess it has to be somewhat overseas to go to foreign lands, go to foreign countries in order to copulate, or I guess commingle with women of that particular destination that they're going to. I don't understand now. From my understanding is I know I wouldn't say that I've been in a million vaginas or 1,000 vaginas, or even hundreds of vaginas. I've been in more than one. And for the most part, I guess with different variations of elasticity and moisture, well, I should say moisture, that doesn't quite fit. Dampness, wetness, saturation. Saturation sounds good. Varying levels of saturation, and I can also, that some people say there's no such thing as bad vagina. But I guess I've had good, and I guess if there's no such thing as bad vagina, not so good vagina. And never have in my quest of living, because you think about it, America is supposed to be the melting pot. So in America, if there's just about any ethnicity or any woman from any geographical region in the world in which you're seeking to have some type of interaction with, then you should be easily able to find her in America. I don't know. I don't understand why. So maybe the question is that, and I imagine some of these countries that they go to, the passport brothers go to, are still Western countries. But maybe it's the fact that they feel disenchanted by the way that the women of the Western world, their standards, and they get caught up in the propaganda of the what they say, the feminist propaganda. And I guess it becomes more of a challenge for those who fit the designation of passport bro to somehow gain a communication in order to not to be so cruel, in order to seal the deal with the woman that is considered to be of American naturalization, American citizenship. So it's like, to me, I can't help but think about, okay, you buy your passport. That passport isn't, the cost of procuring a passport is expensive, but I guess, especially with the way that the flights and things are going, and all sorts of travel restrictions and things like that, just hopping from various countries could not only be come up to be expensive, but also could be somewhat hazardous to your health, considering they have this thing called the monkeypox and the good old faithful COVID-19. But in my mind, I can't help but think that's just travel tricking. If I may coin the term travel tricking. Because I what brought me to making this post and making this video was the fact that I was reading a post where a guy, I guess he might presume himself to be a passport bro, or might have an issue with those who have problems with speaking negatively against passport bros. He pretty much was going against the concept of game. Now, game is pretty much just a method of conversation, a method of communication, in order to have some form of effectiveness on whatever it is you're utilizing that communication or that speech towards. So this passport brother person, I guess the presumably passport brother person, had a problem with I guess some of these dating coaches, or man coaches, there's guys that come that I guess also off on the offline space or the online space. What they do is they the online space, what they do is they basically do what I guess if you're in lack of a competent big brother or a competent daddy or a competent granddaddy who was able to teach you how to court a woman or teach you how to speak to a woman, and another thing about that is that a lot of times if you want to learn how to speak with a woman, I guess a good thing for some of you fellas to do, I guess if you don't have the funds to become a passport brother to go over and wow the eyes of those who are of international descent, who over their international ladies. If you're not one of those individuals who need to buy a ticket or buy outfits or buy whatever to go to other land in order to try to have some form of sexual intercourse or some type of affection from a woman. Uh, that can be nothing but tricky. So this person who had a problem with the concept of game, because someone who is pretty much acquainted with game and knows how to utilize their game in order to procure the company or the sexual favors or whatever from a woman. They felt as if that person was dismissing the fact that all they have to do, I guess, and never mind, all they have to do is buy a passport, buy a plane ticket, wait for the date to travel, wait for the right time to travel, pick a destination to travel, go to a country, walk around, I imagine, and find a gullible woman, a easy and easy to procure woman. Because you got to think about it, man. When you go to these countries, and I mean, I guess for the most part, that America is supposed to be one of the richest countries on earth. When you go to some of these poor countries, poor tourist destination countries, once you leave the resort, it's fair game. I guess it's pretty much cutthroat, ghetto-ish. I shouldn't say ghetto. I guess it would be more suitable to find. It would be more easy to find women who might have might be in a situation, a circumstance where they might need a little shot of American money. So what it is exchange rate. You got to think about the exchange rate. Let's say, for example, you go to somewhere like I'll just stick with Brazil. You go to somewhere like Brazil. The American dollar is worth more than the Brazilian dollar. So I guess if you feel as if you go down there to Brazil and you might buy one of the ladies on the streets or wherever you might interact with a woman, you might buy her a meal or shoot, I maybe a drink or take her. I don't know what you do, but I'm pretty sure that at some point you're going to reach in your American currency and pull out some money, and whether it be like just you were so nice to me, I'm going to give you a little piece of money for your time. But you know what they call that in America? When you hook up with a lady and you go about having sex with her, and then you give her a little piece of money for your time. The answer to that question is buying a hoe, tricking, being a John. It is what it is. So okay, you want to be I didn't mean to come home. I had somewhere else to go. So when you call yourself a passport brother, you're pretty much admitting to me. If you can call you, okay, it's fine. Okay, let's say, for example, you call yourself a passport brother, but you also have a track record of being able to procure women where you live. Yeah. Even if it's a situation, and I don't know how much I lost, but I had left my Wi-Fi signal to come out back to my phone signal. But even, golly, I lost my train of thought. Even if it's a point where, you just spending a little bit of money. Okay, that's you still had to pay all these expenses to go overseas and do all this, that, and the third. So, in my mind, don't speak out against the game. if the game is effective for someone else, if it's more effective for damn, it's an ambulance coming through the joke. If it's more effective for, don't hate the game. I mean, I know that they say don't hate the player, they hate the game, but still don't hate the game. Don't hate the player nor the game. Go ahead on and buy a passport. Going out there, and pick, and I guess I guess they have little groups and things, maybe Facebook groups or however type of groups where they go about picking the areas in which they go to procure these loose women, these exotics, and I guess they feel as if they've established some type of plateau of playerhood, because really when you think about it, it's like, okay, there's sex for pleasure, but then there's also sex for conquest. I guess some of we'll take the current example of Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti wouldn't, if Ashanti looked like Whoopi Goldberg, Irv Gotti wouldn't still be pining about the fact that he once upon a time he fucked Ashanti. That's, you want to be able, I guess, in the minds of a virile man. A virile man wants to be able to say, well, look what I did. Look at her. Look at who I bagged. But if all you can show to me is pictures with palm trees, and and they pretty much can tell these women that they bring across, it's not like when they go over these foreign countries, they're picking the women that are higher or middle class. It's like, they're basically just women in damn near poverty. They may gather some sexy rags in which they adorn themselves with, but yet and still, all you're doing, Mr. Passport Brother, in my eyes, and I asked what the question, what is the Passport Brother, and I do say, if you have any explanation or if I'm wrong about anything else, leave it in the comments. But in my eyes, Mr. Passport Brother, you are an international trick. You bought a passport in order to make it easier for the fact. No, you bought a passport to accommodate for the fact that in order for you to have the type of sexual satisfaction that you have, and to have the type of sexual accomplishment that you want to have with other women, you have to travel to other lands and either go about finding the most gullible or the most desperate. Because I mean, it's not like hell. If you was a hellified nigga, then you would be able to do whatever you needed to do in America, which is really the point I'm getting to. Why do you need a designated term as Passport Brother? Why can't you be an international player? Because being known as an international player, that means that you don't have to travel. You're a player wherever you are. That's what makes you international. But with that being said, man, let me go. I had one person out there fucking with me, but I wanted to come on and tickle the algorithm a bit. Peace and love to y'all. All right. Passport Bros. Holla at me, Passport Bros. I need to figure this out.